with that being said, let's get into Madam Web at this time. I'm just gonna throw in spoilers from the jump because we don't need to separate like non-spoiler and spoiler section. Madam Web doesn't deserve that treatment, so we're just gonna everything's on the table. Anything you want to talk about with Madam Web. We're gonna start with Soups. Soups, your thoughts on Madam Web?
Honestly, just a travesty all around. I feel really bad for the filmmakers and the actors involved. Even though they got a paycheck for the film, they just all got done so dirty, and this is all just a massive stain on their careers. Yeah, I just feel bad for everyone who was a part of this movie. I hate saying stuff like this, but it was an absolute abomination. Period. Point blank.
So you saw it at the premiere in LA. What was the general vibe like in that theater exiting? Was there a lot of murmurs of like, what the fuck was this? Or do people keep it like clean and professional and don't talk shit like that?
Oh, okay. So I had two interactions when we were like in the lobby of like where the premiere venue was after the film had ended. And, I guess someone had recognized me and they were like, oh, Soups, like, yo, what's up? Can I get a picture? And I was like, dude, yeah, of course. Like, whatever, let's take a pic. And then after that, I'm like, yeah, so what'd you think of the movie? And he's like, oh, like this is a guy who just came to a Marvel premiere and he's like cooking the movie. That's never been the case, especially like that setting. And then the other one was like Shameik Moore, the voice of Miles Morales in the Spider-Verse films. I went to the bathroom after the movie ended, and he walks into the bathroom and he's like, damn, I knew it was gonna be good, but not that good. And then we like make eye contact,
that
and we
so
just
on
start
brand
dying, bro.
No way.
Eye contact, and we just start dying. And yeah, that was the two experiences I had. Like after the movie had ended, it was just the vibes were not good.
Oh dear,
that's hilarious. Yeah, Alex, what do you think of Madam Web?
I mean, as someone who working class citizen man paid for his ticket, I burned money there. But listen, I'm not gonna blame. I've already bashed this movie. I'm not gonna blame the people part of it. I'm gonna blame Sony because these guys. I said this before in my review. I'm like, who are they making these movies for? Like, I get making a Venom movie. Spider-Man's the whole thing, the big shebang, but I get Venom. Venom's a big property. People like Venom. Symbiote, cool. No one asked for Morbius. I know damn well no one asked for Madam Web. And the Craven thing, oh God, pray. But like, I just don't understand it anymore because these things don't make a crazy profit. So I'm just like confused as to what they're trying to do here. It's like
Craven Sony as well? Is that a Sony?
Yeah, it's like when Fantastic Four movies came out every so often by Fox to retain the rights. I feel like they're just there to like keep these characters a part of them and not letting them go to Disney or whatever. But like the signs were on the wall back in TASM days. Remember when TASM 2 came out and they made a whole primary plot point with Peter's parents? And I was like, no one asked for this once again. And I'm like, the writing was on the wall. They were going to do this and started branching off into different Spider-Man characters. And I just, yeah, it's a mess. Poor people are part of this project. They got the bag, but still, I mean, this thing is like a big turd stain on the legacy of whoever's a part of it. But I mean, you could maybe laugh at it. I don't know. I just didn't have fun with this thing at all. I'll be honest. But yeah, that's about it for me. I just,
Seth, you're pretty high on Madam Web. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, great. Man, it's just really bad. It's just like the dire state of modern blockbuster filmmaking. I will say, I think Alex or someone said like they did shoot on location, which is better.
You're grasping at straws here, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm grasping. I'm reaching. It was shit, man. Like I think that. I think it was really, really lifeless. Honestly, the cast felt like it was a first script read a lot of the time, but they really did. It felt like they were recording in another room. It was like when I saw clips from that Ghosted, came out. It was like that. It was like there's nothing here. I think it was also. I mentioned this thing about Letterboxd review. It was like deceptive in terms of how they marketed it. This is really a superhero film, is it really? You're just kind of going from montage to montage, seeing nothing no one cares about, with just dialogue that's full of exposition notes that are just pointless, and I just didn't care about anything. I'm not this. I was going to say I'm not the target audience. Who the fuck is the target audience for this, really? But it just came across really bad. It tries to throw things at you left and right. the editing choices so bizarre.
You
So
saw
like,
the
how did
scene
that
where,
pass
she's in
it,
the
man?
car and it's like it breaks the 180 rule and it looks like so jarring because like I thought she was talking to herself. Like it looks so I don't know.
It's like it didn't pass the first draft stage. I know this obviously got fucking cooked post, but like it's really, really terrible in every way. And even the most defensible like superhero fan, Soups, you're not defending this. You know what I mean? You're not like no one is defending this. I think it's a case where I think like Alex, like you said, it's I think they just had to use the IP and just they have to use it whilst it's there, and they have to kind of keep something going and push them out. And I don't think they really care about the reception of this film at all. I think.
Do you think it's like a tax break for them? Because
Maybe.
like I'm trying to like piece together like
maybe.
this
I mean,
thing
what was the
actually-
budget for this film?
It was $80 million.
I mean, I think they're going to turn a profit at the end of the day. It's not going to be what they want.
Where is he going?
I just also it's just like how did they make everyone sound like they're like at gunpoint when they're saying their lines? I don't.
Dude, Sydney Sweeney was done so dirty.
And
in this film.
Matt, you said it, Susan, your thing of like you talked about how this was supposed to have Spider-Man in it, but they got the timing wrong and they couldn't put Andrew or Toby in this universe. So I can only imagine how many times this script was like torn apart, put back together, torn apart, put back together, and then we just got this. And I'm like, could you tell it was put in 2003? Besides the blockbuster, I really couldn't tell. It didn't like it didn't.
The way they dressed the characters was fucking weird, man. Like Sydney Sweeney's character, it's. I can't remember whose review I saw this in. It might have been Jay Stoob's review. I think I saw on my For You page the other day, and they dress like Sydney Sweeney's character like she's like some anime, like timid.
Yeah,
it's weird. Like it's really just the creative decisions there. It's so out of touch with reality. And the whole 2003 thing is just fucking odd. Although, if Tobey Maguire actually, imagine if he made a cameo, that would be kind of.
That would have ruined. Like, I don't want him a part of this thing.
Dude,
I do.
Yeah.
If I see some Tobey Maguire Spider-Man,
If it's like the Spider-Man 3 when he's got the Venom, like making him like bad boy Toby, and he tries to rizz up Sydney Sweeney, that would have made this like
that would be cool as shit.
Oh.
Like,
that would be a great post credit scene. They didn't have post credit scene. If you just had Tobey Maguire go in there and just try to rizz up Sydney Sweeney at the cafeteria, that would have made this peak.
It's like I can't even, it's so bad. It's almost like are they joking? Is this satire? But it's
Someone
not.
said this is like The Room, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to become apologists.
Bro, I was like watching it, and I just kept on thinking, how did this get greenlit? How is this like? How did they approve this for the premiere? Where like all the actors are here, like. How?
What do the actors think? I know Dakota Johnson doesn't give a fuck. Like she's
she's
gone straight away. Yeah, I saw
left before the movie started.
But like, what do the other actors think? In that, especially like obviously, they've got the stage where they're doing the lines, they're doing the shooting, whatever. But seeing how everything is chopped up and fitted together, after it's all done, how do they look at that and be like, okay, it's such a, It does hinder actors' careers being attached to projects like this, especially when it's part of a franchise and part of this kind of universe. It's just a fucking weird film.
Yeah, not even that. Like the poor director, like she's not going to be able to do like they're going to like screw her over because that's what like when you're attached to kind of this project and like the Sony machine. I don't know if she's going to get like the facilities to make another project. Like
It kind of reminds me a little bit of David Ayer. Like, dude, he was coming hot off of Fury hot off of Fury, incredible film. And then he did Suicide Squad, and obviously, like, we know that whole story. And that film came out, and then he kind of really hasn't done.
He did that Netflix film, that terrible Netflix film, that Bright with Will Smith, which was
he just did Beekeeper.
I haven't seen that, to be fair. People have been liking Beekeeper though.
Yeah. Beekeeper was a massive success for Amazon, and now he's doing another film with Jason Statham. So I'm glad he's getting some footing. But in moments like this, where these type of films come out in this stage, it does hinder like the talent that's attached to it, which is
we know the writers will be fine because they've continued to release crap after crap, and they keep getting employed. So
it's mental, isn't it? Like,
that picture. I forget what the projects were, but I saw it was like.
It's
Morbius,
Power Rangers,
Power
Morbius.
Rangers.
Dracula.
Whoa, Power Rangers is kind of good.
Which
No.
Power Rangers?
The
It's
newer
the
one, right?
2017 one.
That's a good movie.
Oh, I ain't seen that. I ain't
I
seen
like
that.
that movie.
Alex is Power Ranger pilled, but yeah, I mean, I didn't even know Emma Roberts was in this. Maybe I just missed blacked
didn't.
out during the marketing,
No, I
but
didn't.
I didn't
Yeah,
realize
yeah.
she was in it. Sydney Sweeney, so I know she's a great actress, like especially in Reality from last year. I think that's like her best work. But
I think she's good in
struggle-
Euphoria. I don't know if you've seen Euphoria.
I haven't seen
I've seen
Euphoria,
the
but I
first
think she's
season.
great in Reality. Obviously, I love Anyone But You, but I do struggle with every time I see her in projects recently. Like I feel like her line reading always feels so robotic, even though like I do really like her, but I don't know. And I felt the same way in this, but I mean, it's hard to tell in Madam Web, but even like Anyone But You and some other projects I've seen her in, I feel like she is just kind of, she feels very forced and she says her lines. I didn't get much from her in this. Dakota Johnson, I thought was fine, whatever. I think Tahar Rahim had to be like probably the weakest link here, just simply because every line was dubbed over and you could see his mouth was just not matching.
Yeah, he was
anything. So I don't know
Yeah,
if
he
they
was
changed
awful.
every word he was going to say within the script. So like, we need to change what you're saying, or if he was just delivering the lines so awfully that they're like, we need to clean this up in post. But something happened with his performance to where 99% of the movie where he's speaking, it was dubbed over in post. And it was
So
just
weird.
simply
Not
not
even
what
just
he was
that, but the
saying.
lines too. The lines that were that's the worst comic book villain ever, I think, in movies. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know if
he was
it's the worst one, but that's every line. I don't think
Worst ever?
What's worse? Please give me an example.
That fucking Whiplash from Iron Man 2, whatever it is.
Mickey
Nah,
Rourke.
I'm taking Whiplash over
It has
this
the least
guy.
charisma.
I'd
and,
take
like,
Mickey. Yeah.
No, it's Mickey Rourke, so I like Mickey. No, it probably is. I mean, I can't think of anything. It's just a big statement. There's a lot of shit.
No, I know it sounds a bit hyperbolic, but then you watch it and you're like, the ADR is off. His lines are some of
It
the
was
worst
shit.
ever.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe we only got like 60 seconds of them in the suits. Like I thought we were going to get a lot more of that, but it was
Well, a
barely.
superhero film. You know,
Right,
the way
yeah.
they market it is
Beans,
not a
yes,
superhero
I
film.
don't-
Strange.
At the end of the day, I don't know. I didn't hate this as much as I was expecting to, but also I saw it after seeing pretty much everyone's review. So I'm sure my expectations were below the floor going into it. So I still gave it like a 1.5 stars. Like, you know, I didn't hate my time with it. I was engaged for it. Everything I was seeing on screen was awful, but I wasn't like, you know, it's not one of those films that I was like, man, I want to just be scrolling my phone right now. Like, I'm not interested. I was like, I want to see where this goes. It didn't quite enter the so bad it's good territory, like we were saying, though, which I feel like Sony's really missing out on capitalizing on that if they're going to continue just doing these terrible movies to just really lean into it and like elevate the
Yeah.
camp. But it seems like they're still in their mind trying to make these serious. But, you know, they got a cast of people. And then Dakota
Yeah.
Johnson's tough to defend. She's almost like Mads Mikkelsen, where like, you just got to tell people like, watch Mads Mikkelsen's like international films, watch Another Round, watch The Hunt. He's really great. Don't just watch him in Indiana Jones and in Fantastic Beasts. Whereas like Dakota Johnson, everyone like in my TikTok comments are saying she's a terrible actress because like this and like
She's
they just
not.
know from this and like 50 Shades of Grey. But she's great. Like watch The Lost Daughter,
The
watch
Lost Daughter, she's
Suspiria.
banging.
Bad Times of the El Royale, she's good in. I think.
Mhm. Forgot
Peanut butter
She's,
falcon.
have you seen her all the interviews though? She's just. Have you seen the interview the other day where she was like, someone asked her how she got on with like Sydney Sweeney and her co-stars, and she was like, "Yeah, having them around was really fun." What was it? What did she say now? Like,
She was like, they all bonded and I was just there.
yeah, the old man is like, Jesus Christ, it's so awkward.
Hey, I'll give Dakota Johnson credit for that. She's handled this press tour like a freaking champ, bro.
Did you see though? Yeah, that one person was trying to like egg her on and like instigate, like, you know, that
In
line
the-
where it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
Amazon. I don't know, what was that line?
In the junket, yeah, the press
Mhm.
junket.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
press junket about like the line of like, oh yeah, my mom was in the Amazon looking for spiders. It's like a really weird, clunky line that's in the trailer.
It is a
I
really
was
weird.
trying to egg her on, saying like, you know, you went viral for this line, and then he's like trying to basically like make her like, you know, like seem like she's. A
I mean,
bad
so many actors and actresses are just like not very online. And I also think a lot of people overreacted to when she said she hasn't seen the movie, because I know Matt Damon said like he doesn't watch his
Loads of
movies.
actors
Like
haven't
A lot of
seen it.
tons of
actors,
actors don't watch any of their movies. I bet Dakota Johnson hasn't seen a single 50 Shades film. Like I feel like I can't imagine being an actor in that movie and be like, I'm going to watch this back in an audience full of people while they're like looking at me doing this. So I don't think it's that crazy that she hasn't seen it. But anything else anyone wants to say about Madam Web? I guess, is it the bottom of both of your Spider-Man universe rankings? Because it's not for me, but where does it rank in your Spider-Man verse rankings?
Dude,
You got it,
honestly,
I haven't seen Morbius, so I don't know. We're bottom now, but I haven't seen Morbius.
I'm gonna broaden the spectrum, because I came out of this film thinking, like, after really letting it marinate, I was thinking the only other superhero film I've ever seen that I would put this side by side with is Halle Berry's Catwoman.
Really?
Yeah, but that is the basketball.
Really, I think
Worse
that
than
the-
Fan Four Stick?
Yeah, I'm taking Fan Four Stick.
I think
Really?
Catwoman's like so
Oh.
bad it's good territory though. I think that's funny.
The basketball scene
Catwoman's-
was
I think
Yeah,
to be
like,
fair
I
with
think this
this
might
the
be the-
Catwoman though, you have to give it
the
time. Like
worst.
it's too soon. Like Madam Web, we have
Yeah.
to give it 15 years.
Catwoman
It's
has
like-
the vintage. Yeah, Catwoman has.
Also,
the,
yeah, Catwoman has like the time era, that it came out in.
And that's
where it's
Halle
like this
Berry.
is coming out in 2024.
Yeah, I suppose.
Like if this came out in 2003 when it was like set in,
Mhm.
then it would get some points on that. Because in 2003 we were getting a ton of like campy, like
Mhm.
we got
Electros.
freaking Blade Trinity.
like
like-
the Blade. Yeah. Ugh,
I have
don't
this
know, dude.
below, or I have this above Morbius and Let There Be Carnage for me personally. Let There Be Carnage is close. But I haven't,
I haven't
really
seen
watched
Venom 2. I've seen the first Venom. I haven't seen the
Seth,
second.
when you see Venom 2, you're gonna be like, this is like low key like
I don't think I'll watch it. Like, why would I watch it? You know?
If you didn't like Venom 1, there's no reason to watch
No, I thought Venom 1 was like fine. I didn't
hell
hate
yeah.
Venom.
Venom 1 is
I didn't hate
more
Venom
than
1.
fine.
No, it's definitely the bottom. But like, do any of you guys have a favorite line from the film that you can remember? Because I have one.
Let's hear it.
Which one?
It's the one where she's getting all the exposition dump about her mother, and she's like, "But I don't have like a bone disease or something like that, or like I don't have like a muscle problem." And I was like, "This is the worst thing ever." I love it.
It's all based on like telling the audience exactly what's going on at each
Nah,
moment in time.
okay.
It's so annoying.
The one time I like genuinely like laughed out loud, and I think we were supposed to laugh, is when she literally like trauma dumps and says like how her mom died when she gave birth to her, and she's talking to Emma Roberts' character, and she's
Mhm.
fucking
Yeah.
pregnant.
I mean, the classic one that's going all over Twitter is the, like, what, you never been shot at in Queens to Uncle Ben? It's like, it's kind of just a savage joke to be like foreshadowing him getting killed in Queens.
Not even that too. The one where she's like, Ben's an uncle now. All the fun, no responsibility. I literally like I wanted to get out like in the theater right now.
That,
Oh,
Dude, that's
brother.
great.
And they kept this is also why these Sony movies stink. Quit hinting at Peter Parker in these movies. She's talking about like how the baby keeps leaping around in her stomach. And then like they're like, oh, what should we name him? What should we name him? And I'm like, if you say Peter, I'm going to scream out loud right now. And you know what's crazy? Because you gotta disrespect people that watch movies, right? But I'm gonna disrespect the people behind me. Because I can just tell they see like 2 movies a year. I'm being that guy. I'm gatekeeping. I heard them go like, "Oh my god, that's the line from Spider-Man." When like, they said the responsibility thing to her in the movie, like, because the one of the spider people.
Yeah.
Spider- I don't even know what they were, but they were
Things.
telling Scott Johnson great responsibility, blah blah blah. And they're like, "Yeah, that's the line from Spider-Man." Oh my god! And I was like, "There's no way you're like eating this up right now." But hey,
Dude, to be fair, I will also give them credit for this, because I thought they were gonna drop that line from the fortune cookie. Like I thought Ben
That
was
was
gonna,
terrible.
I thought Ben was gonna open up the fortune cookie and it would have said like that great responsibility.
Oh my.
Adam Scott being Uncle Ben too. I didn't know who he was in the movie until they said Ben, and I was
I
like,
didn't.
I was like, Uncle Ben
I
as a
don't.
paramedic before, bro. What are we doing? And then Emma Roberts, like we said, biggest out of nowhere thing. I didn't know she was in the film. And I
Yeah,
was like,
exactly.
I don't think anyone did. I've seen this on Twitter all the time. I
and
didn't
was
know.
like, what the hell is Emma
my
Roberts
God.
playing? And then I see that it's Peter Parker's mother, and I was like,
Mm.
And it's like the baby's baby
I don't
shower,
get
and the
it.
dad's just like on a business trip.
Yeah, I don't get it.
he's in Shanghai or something. They said. I was like,
I could honestly see this like in a few years being like a campy classic. And just thinking back to the scenes of every time where Dakota Johnson's like, "Don't do that. Something bad's gonna happen." Like, no, fuck off. And then just like an ambulance just crashes and everyone dies. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And it just kept happening. She's like, "Please don't do that." And they're like, "Shut up, woman." And then like they just go off and die in a car accident. I'm like, okay, this might end up being pretty funny in a couple of years.
Oh my! And the flashback scene, like every flashback, like it felt like the audio was piercing at my like ears. Like I hated the way they did like.
Yeah, the
like,
mixing was really
travel
bad.
powers, and then like at the end, she gains the bill. She basically becomes Jesus Christ. I don't know. She like multiplies herself like she's a Echo in Ben 10, and like a 3 of her. Like it's just like the most like. The third act is one of the worst things ever, I think, honestly. Just stuff happens for the sake of the plot and happening and moving it forward with like no explanation whatsoever.
Yeah, and then what happens to the helicopter again that's coming to Sam? It's like, you need to get higher. Like, we can't save you here. And then like they just get exploded and killed. There's a lot of death in this movie, dude. Like, surprisingly a lot of death.
All the cops that got just absolutely eviscerated in the subway.
Oh man, but
She drove an ambulance through a Calvin Klein ad. Bro, it's so dumb. It's so dumb, and it's not like in the like we're making it sound so much more like funny. Like when I'm watching this, I literally was my eyes were rolled back to my head. It wasn't fun watching it, but like it just sounds a lot better, I guess, because it's
we're making the extra connections to make these moments funnier. Whereas when you watch them, they just deliver it so bland and lifelessly that, like we said, it just doesn't ever get to the level of where you can laugh at it. But
and just like once again, Sydney Sweeney being a dork in this movie, her screaming Cassie was kind of like a fun little meta moment because like obviously her character in Euphoria is named Cassie, but like, what I don't know, what were they cooking out of inspired?
They were cooking nothing.